Welcome back to Understanding Human Anatomy. And in this video I'm going to begin a discussion of the vascular supply to the digestive tract, to the GI tract. And with that we'll be talking about circulation through the liver. First we need to define what a portal vessel is. And this is a blood vessel that connects two capillary beds. So with a portal vessel, instead of blood going through a capillary bed and then back to the heart, it goes through a capillary bed through the portal vessel to another organ, and then that blood flows through the second organ before returning to the heart. Now, when we talk about portal circulation, we're talking about blood drained into the portal vein. And this is sometimes called the hepatic portal vein, because it carries blood from the digestive tract to the liver. We'll find that there are three unpaired branches of the abdominal aorta. So organs supplied by the three unpaired branches of the abdominal aorta will be drained via the portal vein to the liver. Now, the structures supplied by the three unpaired branches of the abdominal aorta are the GI tract, and spleen are drained to the liver by the portal vein. Now, this is in contrast to blood that is drained directly into the inferior vena cava, and this is called the caval circulation. So this would be blood drained directly into the inferior vena cava. And the paired branches of the abdominal aorta are the arteries that supply these organs. So organs supplied by the paired branches of the abdominal aorta will be drained directly into the inferior vena cava. Now, portal caval anastomoses are where organs are drained both into the portal vein and the inferior vena cava. In these areas, if one route is blocked, say the route through the portal vein is blocked, then the blood will drain through the caval circulation. And we will get areas that the vessels become dilated from all this extra blood. And so the portal caval anastomoses connect the portal and caval circulations. Now let's start by looking at the abdominal aorta and its principal branches. Let's start by sketching in the abdominal aorta. So we'll begin up here and draw the aorta down to where it divides into left and right common iliac. And the common iliacs divide into an internal and external iliac. Like so. Let me cover in up here. And then we'll color in the aorta, so that this is the abdominal aorta dividing into left and right common iliacs, and each common iliac divides into an internal and an external iliac. Now let me add the labels to this. We have the common iliac artery, and of course they are paired. Here we have the external iliac artery, here, and then we have the internal iliac artery, over here. Now, the internal iliac artery will be supplying the pelvic viscera with the exception of the gonad and also the gluteal region. The external iliac artery will supply the lower extremity. Now, we need to draw in the branches of the abdominal aorta. And the abdominal aorta has several paired segmental artery branches. These would be analogous to the intercostal arteries that we talk about in the thorax. So I'll draw a few of these in here. And again, these are the segmental arteries. Like so. Then we will have a relatively large renal artery on each side, and the renal artery will originate more superiorly on the left side than it does on the right side. So we'll label the renal artery and I'm putting the label on the right renal artery. Then, just superior to the renal arteries, we'll have an adrenal artery or a suprarenal artery. Label that on the left side of the diagram. We'll have originating just inferior to the renal artery a pair of gonadal arteries which originate up high and then descend down into the pelvis. So this would be the gonadal artery, and the gonadal artery would be either the ovarian artery or the testicular artery, or spermatic artery as it's called, depending on the gender of the individual. It arises so high in the abdomen because the gonads develop high in the abdomen, in the embryo, and then descend down into the pelvic region to take up their normal positions. Then we will have the unpaired branches. The unpaired branches, we have the celiac trunk. And the celiac trunk will be coming right out of the plane of the diagram and right at us as we're looking at it. It projects anteriorly. So this is the celiac trunk. And remember that the term trunk refers to arteries that are relatively short and then branch immediately. Now, another artery we're going to be dealing with, another unpaired branch, is the superior mesenteric artery. And that originates and runs down to the right side of the body. And I've exaggerated the amount it goes to the right. It's not that great an angle as I've shown here, but I want you to get the idea that it's moving that direction. It's traveling that direction. And finally, we have so let me label that. Draw a line. And finally is the inferior mesenteric artery, which branches off of the aorta and then runs to the left side and inferiorly. And it is running over to the sigmoid colon area. So if we label this get the line going over to it, and let me refresh this line going over to the gonadal artery. So there we have the three unpaired branches, the celiac trunk, the superior mesenteric, and the inferior mesenteric arteries. These are the arteries that supply the GI tract and spleen and then are drained into the portal vein. The paired branches, like the suprarenal, the renal, the gonadal, the common iliac, and the segmental arteries, all are drained into the inferior vena cava directly. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at the celiac trunk. Thank you for your attention.